Hurricanes, I'm Elise Piku. Today we're interviewing with Dr. McGowan talking about her new role as superintendent. Hi Dr. McGowan, how are you?
Good morning, Elise. It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. I know you're a very busy woman and you have a lot of superintendent things to do, but what would you say your normal off day is?
Wow. Gosh, I don't know if in this role there is a normal day. I can tell you one thing that I do almost every day is go to campuses and have the opportunity to sit down and visit with everyone on the faculty, and that's always really a wonderful time to get to see folks. And then usually with those visits, I get to sit down and also talk to the principal for a little bit about what's going on campus. And then sometimes if I'm really lucky, I get to sit down and go into classrooms and actually see what's going on with kids and their learning. So that's a great part of every day for sure. Of course, there's all the normal keeping up with community relations, and so that looks different every day. There's so many great organizations in our district and so many community members that want to support what we're doing in our schools, so making sure that I get to spend time with them and thank them for all the things that they do, and then of course build new partnerships. We were talking about that as I was on my way in. So I don't know if there's a typical day, but every day is very full, and I think that every day is really fun. But I think a lot of how you feel about each day in life is the attitude you bring to the day. So I'm always grateful for the opportunity to get up in the morning and to serve and get to spend time with people that I love and care about.
I love that. And I noticed that you always greet everybody with a handshake and a smile. I love that. I thought that was so sweet.
Well, it's fun. Like I told you, we have so many wonderful people in our Climb family, and it really does take every single person doing their best in whatever it is that they do. And so it's fun when I get to see people doing what they do.
Right. I love that. So what inspired you to consider an education-based career, and what are some of the highlights you've experienced?
Well, I had a life-changing experience when I was really young. I was really on a path to go to law school, and I'd really wanted to go to law school since I was probably in elementary school. And so I did like mock trial and I did every opportunity I could for debate and all of those things, and just thought that I was going to be an attorney for sure. In fact, when I went to my undergrad, I got the application for law school my freshman year, so I could make sure to be getting all the things. That was when you actually had to write off if applications were not available online. I know, that makes me seem really old. But that was when you had to write off and they'd send you the application. And so my whole time while I was in college, I was working on that application to make sure that I would be able to be successful in achieving my goal. And then I went overseas on a teaching stint, and wow, I just had this experience where I was teaching girls who, a lot of them had never been in school before. It was their first opportunity to become educated. And I just fell in love with the whole thing. I was like, this is amazing. I want to do this. And so I will say it was a little shocking to lots of people when I came back to the States and said, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to become a teacher. I think that that's where you can have a tremendous impact on young people and therefore on the future of our nation. And so I want to try this. And so I said I was going to do it for 1 year. I was like, I'm just going to try it for 1 year. And then if I'm crazy and that wasn't really what I'm supposed to be doing, I'll go back to the law school plan. But ever since then, I have been part of education. And so it's just been a blessing. Every role. I've had so much fun getting to know people, serve people, and then of course, do what the whole thing is about, which is help students follow their dreams and their passions and be equipped to do whatever they want to do next. So yeah, that life-changing experience completely took me on a new path.
Was it a hard decision to transfer, or was it pretty easy?
No, it was a very hard decision. I think when I was, because of all the different things I had done to prepare, everybody knew that that was kind of the path that I was on and what I was going to ultimately do. And so there were a lot of people that didn't really understand the decision that I made. Like, why would you do that? You've worked your whole life to do this thing, and now all of a sudden you have this one experience, and now you're going to completely shift gears. But I also think it's important, and this is kind of what I told everybody. It's we can choose to go on one path, and that doesn't have to be the path we stay on forever. You can have this experience that actually makes you a better person, a better leader, and doesn't mean that that's the path you have to be on for the rest of your life. And so I think kind of operating in that freedom, at least mentally, helped me to take the risk and go on a different journey. But yeah, no, it was definitely a hard decision, and it was probably a little bit hard for my parents at first to accept, to be honest, but then they became my biggest fans. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I love that. So As superintendent, I'm sure you have several goals for our students and community. Can you tell us about the district's engagement plan and some of its successes?
Yes. So first of all, one of the things that I've tried to work really hard at is, even though I have been in the district as a teacher and a principal and a district leader, really trying hard to have a beginner's mind. And so kind of going back to that place where you don't make any assumptions, you don't just operate as if you already know what's needed, but to really take the time to slow down and to talk to people and to really listen, and to make my primary part of the conversation about the listening to what they have to say. And so I've been sitting down with principals, with students, with community members, and been having a wonderful time getting to hear directly from them what they think the strengths of the district are, but then also what they think are the challenges. And sometimes even people's really great ideas for how to overcome some of those challenges. So that's always fun. So I think that's been a huge success so far. It's just like really taking that time to listen. I've learned so much. There are a lot of things that maybe on the prior I would have thought one thing, and then as I visited with people, I realized, there's actually some other things happening here that I need to be aware of. And so that's been helpful. One of my goals was to have a great back to school season. That's what we call it in my family's. We call it back to school season, and we love it. Of course, I get really excited and geeked out about it, but that was one of the big goals, was to make sure that students had a great start. And so, of course, there's always things that we can improve on, and we always look back and kind of do an after-action review about what are the things that can be better next time. But I think some of the things that we started, like Bus Buddies, that was really fun. I don't know if you saw that. So so Bus Buddies was a new program that our transportation department started this year with lots of community and volunteer support. And so you think about kids that are, 5 years old, maybe they're riding the bus for the first time. Well, I mean, for all of us, that doesn't seem as big a deal, but when you're this big and you've never been on a bus with a bunch of kids you've maybe never met before, with a bus driver you have no idea who they are, that can be a pretty scary experience. And so we had almost 300 volunteers just volunteer to be bus buddies, which basically meant they showed up at school in the afternoon and then made sure that the right kids got on the right bus, and then that kids, most importantly, got off at the right stop. Because, there's a lot of stops every day when you're going on that bus route. Exactly. And so I think it also, on top of helping kids, it really helped the bus drivers, because I think people don't realize how difficult their job is. I mean, they are responsible for the safety of all these students on their bus while they're driving a moving vehicle, and they have to make sure people get off at the right place. So I think there was a lot of empathy for our bus drivers, which they are really hardworking people. So I was grateful for that as well. So that was fun back to school. And then I've just been being able to be at all of the different campuses and all of the departments the first week of school. That was a ton of fun. I enjoyed that so much. Not only getting to go to the schools, which is great, and I was really grateful because I had a little bit of time at each place. I didn't have to kind of run in and run out, but I actually got to talk to people. I got to come into y'all's class. That was really fun. But I also got to go to all of our departments. I don't think people realize how many different people it takes to run a school district with 54,000 students, 7,000 employees. There's 250,000 people that live in Klein ISD. So it takes a lot of people to make all of that happen every day. So when I got to see our maintenance folks, our painters, our bus drivers, it was wonderful. So that was one of my goals, was to have a great first week of school. And then definitely by all measures, it seemed like it was a big success. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love the first week of school.
Yes.
I think it's so exciting.
Me too. Me too. I've always loved it, but I really do get so excited about it. My kids joke around that after Christmas and Easter, the first day of school is my favorite day of the year. It's probably true. I really do love it. I get so excited.
So what is it like paving the way in the district as the first female superintendent for Klein ISD?
I'm just honored to be in the role. And of course, I do think about that, it's a big thing to be the first female superintendent in the district. We have a long history of wonderful leaders, and so I'm grateful to be following in their footsteps. The thing I think about most whenever I do think about it, because mostly I just think about how to do the job well and how to make sure that I'm a great servant leader to the people in our community and in our schools. But when I do think about it, I think the thing I think about the most is just that there are so many young women in our system, students who are, going to do amazing things in the world. And some of them are going to do things in careers and in industries where women typically have not been leaders. And so I just think, that's definitely true of the superintendency in the state of Texas, for sure, and really across the nation. And so when I think about it, I just think, this is a great opportunity to hopefully help other young women have as one of their aspirations, being able to get to whatever space they want to get to and whatever industry they want to get to, that if they want to be a senior leader in those organizations or even the leader of the organization, that's something that's possible. So in that regard, I think it's a true honor.
That's inspiring. I love that. So I was reading an article you wrote on the Klein ISD website, and I saw that you included a quote, and it said, when you invest time in yourself as a leader, you are actually investing in the organization and the people you coach and develop. So what does that quote mean to you?
You know, I think one of the things that I think about all the time is that there are so many people connected to Klein ISD. So whether it's students or whether it's our staff and employees or it's our parents and families and community members, I mean, there's just a lot of people here in Klein ISD that I really feel a deep responsibility to serve and to lead well. And so one of the things I know is that if I'm not at my best, then I can't bring my best to the table every day for the people that I'm here to serve. And so I think that's what I really mean by that, is that when you take the time to continue to learn, continue to grow, to make sure that you're incredibly knowledgeable about things that are going on that could impact the district, that could impact students and families. I think that when you take the time to learn about people and you get to know them better and what they care about and what is important to them, that all of those things and that investment in takes a lot of energy. And I can't do that if I'm running on empty all the time. And so I have to make sure that I see that learning as part of investing in myself as a leader so that I can better serve people, but also just some of the things that I do. Like, I love to read. I read tons of books. Yes, I do too. I think my husband's like, we do not have any more room for all of your books. And I'm like, I know. And then of course there's ebooks and lots of other places you can read, but I still do just love, you know, former high school English teacher. That's right. I just still love that book. And so I try to just make sure that I'm investing in myself, that I'm growing, that I'm learning, so that I can be at my best for all the people I serve. So that's what I mean by that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, it was so much fun to interview today.
It was great to visit with you. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you, Hurricanes, for watching. If you liked this, please make sure to check out our website, canelive.com. Thank you so much, Dr. McGowan.
So great to be here. Thank you.
I'm Elise Piku. Goodbye. All right, cool.